So you want to start with dry or just very damp, like lightly damp hair, and use a spray bottle is actually better than having the hair wet, because if the hair is too wet, it won't curl. So I spray the whole crown of the head, and then I gel it, and I try to get that high ponytail as tight as possible. You can always fix any of the little hairs that come out with gel again in the morning, but you want to start off with it as clean and as tight as possible. It should be about 2 fingers back from the front of the forehead. You really want it to be right in the center there, as close to the front. It usually works best if you tip their head forward and really work on the back of the head first, and then smooth out the sides and the front after. So once the hair is in the ponytail, then you can start using the gel and hairspray to smooth it out. I like to use gel first and then one of these combs so that I can really gel it and then just comb it up, and then in the morning it helps to be able to do that as well. So once I take the gel and I put it in her hair, I can really just comb it all in towards that middle piece. And if there's a little bit of bumpage right up here, that's okay, the curls will cover it, but you don't want there to be too many. So after you're done smoothing, it should kind of look like this. This is after smoothing is done. You can use sponge rollers or curl formers when you're ready to curl hair. I like the old-fashioned sponge rollers. You want them smaller towards the top, and if you have a girl like Aria who doesn't have too much, hair, too much thickness, you can get away with doing small rollers throughout the whole thing. But if you have someone who has a lot of hair, you may want to do tight, smaller ones and then do a little bit bigger underneath so you don't have to use so many rollers. But I'm going to use all of the small blue rollers, and I think I got these on Amazon. They have them at the dollar store. But when we go to begin, I just take sections that are like very small like this. I spray it with water, put a little bit of gel in it, and when I say I spray it with water, I missed it. So I just missed it. Pull the water through. And then I'm going to add just a teeny bit of gel.
Mommy, can I have that water, please?
And then after I do every couple, I'll go ahead and spray the hair with hairspray. So when you roll, you just want to make sure that you get down towards the bottom and roll up. And it doesn't matter which way you roll. If you can actually have them all going opposite directions, just make sure you kind of roll them at an angle when you start. And then the trick is once you roll them down, just to have them as tight to that ponytail as possible. And then you're just going to complete the head that way. Always start at the top, work towards the bottom. Alright, so after everything's rolled, it should kind of look like this. Make sure you spray, and I mean lots and lots of spray. And then go back around, because some of this hair will start to come out that you did for the ponytail. Spray that if you have a small comb. Try it down, honey. And really just comb up. Comb up. Alright, head down, please. Comb up. And then this, like I said, you'll have to do this again in the morning, this piece here. Then the kicker is, if they just sleep on the curlers will move around. So you want to take a bandana, bring the bandana around the front of the curlers, make sure they're underneath the curlers, the whole way around. Alright, put your head down.
Alright, head down.
Tuck this, and make sure to tie them nice and tight, and have them sleep like this. So that way the curls don't move around, and it minimizes the frizz inside of it. And then in the morning, we'll pull them out one by one. Okay, so when they wake up, their hair is going to probably be a little bit of a mess like this. And that's okay. We're going to, like, we can smooth that out really easy. So, first thing you're going to do is take off the bandana. And before you even take the curlers out, you want to smooth all this out and put the bow in. So I just take a little bit of water. Start with just a little bit of water on my hands. Just push right up underneath the curlers. Then gel. And then don't use a big brush because a big brush will pull all the hairs out. But you want a small brush and just, or comb really. Like I said, just push everything up towards those curlers because what'll happen is you'll be able to hide some of this underneath the curls. So you want to go around the whole head and do that. So after you kind of push everything in towards the middle, just make sure you spray the heck out of this area. And the front, make sure the front is nice and smooth as well. And
She already did that.
Really just push everything back. It's gonna look nice and hard.
But it's easy.
Alright, and then you can start taking the curlers out from here. When you pull out the curlers, just want to be careful that you don't pull their hair out. A lot of times they can get intertwined. So you just want to make sure you find the right ones to start with.
Usually you should.
And when you pull them out, you want to make sure that you pull them either out at an angle.
Mommy, I teach you.
Or make sure to uncurl them. But you want to make sure the curl stays. So just try as much as you can to stay at this angle. And you're going to pull them all out that way. And as you start to take some of the curls out, make sure you're spraying in between. And every like 4 or 5 spray. Okay, after you have all the curls out, again, just spray, 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 spray. But the goal now is to get and obviously Aria doesn't have her turbo in, but the goal is to tease it up because you want the curls to come up and actually push up against that bow. So you want to take a comb like this or whatever and just take the curls and start to pull them apart a little bit and then really just tease up everything. You want as much of it to stand up against this bow. So Aria's going to school, so I don't want to make hers too big, but it should look similar to this once you're done fluffing it, where it's standing up. And then if you have any stragglers like this, you can always touch them up with a curling iron, but basically you want to be able to see the hair. Alright, put your hair down, your head down a little bit. You want to be able to see the hair up over the bow. That's the mission. So, alright, look at me. There you go.